Welcome back to Race Control. The leaders are now just over 600 miles into leg 9 from the start in Lorient and just under 70 miles from the pit stop in Den Hague. But the big news today was the split in the English Channel. Let's take a look at how that split developed. From when we first spoke to the fleet this morning, the north gained early on, with almost 6 hours of reaching near Dover, while the boats to the south were beating upwind in light air near Calais. As the breeze finally shifted in the north, the south gained back. So now the leaders of both groups are about 70 miles to the finish. They're in northeasterlies now, but the breeze will be leaving the fleet altogether, leaving a bit of a confusing wind hole behind. Team Alvimedica might just be able to make it through, as they only have to go straight to get to The Hague in the south, while the northerners still have to avoid more TSS zones. I'm joined now by two-time race skipper Ken Reed, and we have a Dongfang Livex, it looks like. Jan, are you with us? It's Genny in Race Control. Well, while we're waiting for them, Jan, can you hear me? While we're waiting for them, we'll speak with Kenny. Kenny, I've just explained the scenario about the English Channel. Which side would you rather be on?
I think it's completely winging it at this stage. It's fantastic to see a split. Quite frankly, I think that splits are what makes watching these things fun, and it's just nice. You know, these TSS zones are pretty interesting in their own right. They have obviously they create an obstacle, but they're there for safety. I'm sure everybody understands most of that. And in this case, it created this wonderful split. And I think part of it is strategic. There's nothing to lose. You know, Charlie's trying to get on the podium. He needs to try to do something different from those other guys that are up to the north. Ian Walker, you know, he's kind of cruising to the finish at this stage. They're probably drinking wine every night and getting a lot of sleep. The other guys, for sure, are not sleeping much. I can tell you that. There's absolutely, these are the hardest legs by far, in my opinion, because you just can't get yourself into a rhythm. You can't get yourself in that nice little sleep pattern, whatever sleep you get. These are hard legs. You're probably more whipped at the end of a 3-day race than you are than a 3-week leg.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, let's ask now the French team who are on the northern side. They didn't choose the French side, and they're on the line. I believe we have Jan Rio. Can you hear us now?
Hello, it's Eric.
Hello, Eric, perfect. And are you helming again? When we spoke with you this morning, we were just getting the headset passed off to you on the helm. Is that you steering? Or are you at the main?
No, I'm at the main.
You're on the main, okay. I'm feeling a little bit less bad for distracting you. So the question we wanted to ask you this morning, which we'll ask now, why did you guys pick going to the northern side of the TSS zone?
Why not?
Well, you're French, so that's one reason.
Yeah, it's thought more complicated to go south, so the option was maybe better on the north. That's it.
We're just speaking with Kenny Reed as well. We were talking about how tiring these legs can be. Are you guys exhausted at this point? How much sleep have you gotten in the last 2 days?
Yes, it's true. We didn't sleep much because we are maneuvering a lot, changing sail every time, every half an hour maybe. So I don't know how much we can catch 1 hour from, I don't know, every 6 hours, maybe every 7 hours. So yeah, we have some sleep, but not much.
Do you think the north's going to pay off?
So we feel a bit tired, and yeah, I hope it will pay, because we are giving all we can to do something good. Well, actually, we feel a lot really tired, but it's not long, and it's exciting to go to the finish, give us some energy, so it's no problem for that.
Kenny, do you have a question for Eric?
No, I'm just curious about, back at the beginning of the split, Eric, when you guys the 3 boats went north and the others went south, is that what you were expecting? Were you expecting a split there, or is that kind of interesting how it all developed?
On the strategic side, we are happy to go north because it was for us the best way. But on the tactical side, it's a bit a shame to see Alvimedica going and four other team going on the south, and so, but it's like that. It's the best things that we can do. It's just to win this leg, and that's it.
Okay, well, thanks so much, Eric, and good luck trying to win this leg. He did actually sound quite tired, Kenny. You're right. I think it's going to be a hard couple of days. Almost done, just the pit stop, and then Gothenburg. But let's take a look now at another boat in the north. Mopfrey earlier today, we caught them with a helicopter just off the cliffs of Dover.
White Cliffs of Dover, very famous. And yeah, we're just getting to the end of the southeast corner of England. We sort of joined the coast around Eastbourne, so we've had about 40 miles along here. And we just head sort of northeast towards the end of the traffic separation, and then onto The Hague. So if we're lucky, we'll get there tonight. And don't know where the rest of the boats are, but they're on the other side. They're on the French side.
It's beautiful and clearly famous as well, but how does it affect you when you're racing, Kenny, to sail by landmarks, essentially? I mean, it's awesome to see them, but it's also an interesting sort of dynamic. It's a bit distracting as well.
Well, I always used to enjoy it. You spend so much time out in the middle of the ocean in this race with literally nothing around. So whenever you do this coastal type racing, I always thought it was a blast. It was more obstacles, more fun things, more challenge, current, obviously lots of current at the beginning of this leg especially, but you know, it's just fun. It's just nice. It's a change of pace. There's a lot of open ocean out there that certainly gets plenty of attention. And then you see Rob Greenough, good Englishman up on the English side, and obviously taking in all that beauty as they go by. You know, there's some beautiful places in this world that you only get to see when you do a race like this.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's check in now with the South group. These were the thoughts on board Team SCA earlier in the South.
Yeah. Okay, let's go start.
Tiring. I think everyone was really tired last night. Had a lot of jibes in the day, and then yeah, downwind. It's got quite windy, up to 25 knots. With more jibing. Right now, we've got to beat the people we're with. And that's Abu Dhabi and Vestas. So.
It's a fair enough way of looking at it from Annie Lush. We have to beat the people we're with, and they've got their eyes set on Abu Dhabi, overall race leaders, and Vestas just behind them. But it's not necessarily going the way they wanted after the leg win that they had last leg. What did you think of that leg win, and do you think they'll be able to pull it off here to at least move forward some places?
Well, you teach every single junior sailor in the world to win your side. And you go off a starting line and you just got to win the right or win the left. Wherever you are, you got to win your side. So that's all those guys are thinking about right now. Charlie, that's all Charlie's thinking about for sure, is he has to win his side. I'm sure he's doing a little bit of math in the back of his mind on what it would take to move up a spot or two in the standings. And it actually kind of looks, if the south side comes through, all of a sudden Charlie's looking reasonably strong if he can drag those other boats along with him. He needs places in between. And this thing is kind of setting up interestingly for Alvimedica, but win your side. And the SCA girls, they're thinking about this exactly correct. Win that side. Try to win that side. At least beat the two guys that are right around them. Obviously, last leg was, I guess it was historic, but to me, it was just a lot of hard work for that entire SCA team. They've been incredible ambassadors, really, for the sport of sailing through this whole thing. They've had their tough times. They've had their great moments. It was good for, it was not good. It was great for the sport of sailing to see that boat win a leg. We need more of that in our sport. We need more promotion, positive promotion like that. And I think these girls, through the high times and the low times, have carried themselves extremely well. And obviously they deserved it. They sailed a fantastic leg.
Yeah, they were very proud of it, as were a lot of people on shore, a lot of magenta that day. But as you've said, on board Team Alvimedica, Charlie, having won since sort of the beginning of the second day, is now thinking about doing some math. Here's Charlie and Nick Dana on board.
Yeah, certainly a busy night with a big split. We have some of the mathematics working in our favor if our side wins, but no telling whether or not that's going to work. So still another 10 hours for it to play out.
We can see the cliffs of Dover. We know that 3 boats are up there on the other side of the TSS. We were hoping that the helicopter that just flew over us was going to fly over to them and give them away. But at the moment, we just have to wait for the sked, and hopefully they're not just fetching along down the border of the TSS while we beat up the other side. We know Abu Dhabi. We see them pop in and out on AIS about 10 miles directly downwind of us. So we feel good on the guys on our side, but a little nervous about the guys on the other side.
So, Kenny, as you've said, Charlie's thinking about the math. The spread has to play out exactly as he wants. His whole side has to win. And right now, our routing is showing that Alvimedica might make it through. Then it might be Dongfang in the northern side, and then the rest of the southern pack. So for Charlie to have the numbers that he wants, essentially with Montfray sitting 2 points ahead of them, Dongfang 2 points ahead of that, and Brunel 2 points ahead of that. As you say, if it lands right now with the full southern pack in front and then the northern pack, they could be sitting in second on the podium, essentially, if they were to keep those scores all the way to Gothenburg. And let's just explain to the audience really quickly. The restart in The Hague, it counts, the pit stop isn't a scoring gate. So it just counts that whoever crosses the line first gets to restart first on Saturday around midday. And then after that, hours-wise, is how many hours they came in on the finish line. So it's not a scoring gate. It does mean they're going to be leading. Like you said, you always want to be leading off the start, and be sweet to have a 3-hour lead. But do you think if that does happen like that, say that perfect scenario plays out for your boys, Team Alvimedica, would they then be able to hold it all the way to Gothenburg?
Well, there would certainly be plenty of incentive, I can tell you that. Listen, if I have this wrong, I think every single boat would have won a leg if Charlie and Alvimedica could come through and win this leg, except for Vestas. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, I think you have that right.
Which just says something about the race in general, about the talent pool in the race, and you know, I think that is a really wonderfully telling fact in its own right. But then let's just get back to Charlie and getting on the podium. I think, you know, he's going to have a lot of things work in his favor. Because just getting out of the south, who knows? It's been very interesting. I've been following it on the tracker for a good chunk of the day, and how different the breeze was on one side of the channel versus the other side of the channel. And it'd be interesting to talk to the different navigators and see, were they actually anticipating that big a difference from one side to the other? And then what's going to happen when they all get back together again? Which breeze is going to win? Is Charlie going to have to tack out of that big bay that's up ahead of him? Or is he going to be able to fetch all the way through? This is long but over. It looks like a short bit of distance, but man, there is tons and tons to play for at this stage.
I love your thought process, Kenny. We had this quote from Will earlier. He said, "We expect the north to look strong early, but then later fade, and that's why we chose to go south." And then this was a follow-up from him a couple hours after that.
A bit further back than I thought they would be. Further back. Yeah. They're in straight line. Forget the fact that they can't sail a straight line. Yeah. They're 19 miles closer to the finish. They're in 9 knots of wind out of 316. Okay. And the wind is forecasted to head and get lighter. They're right in that light patch we've been talking about the whole time. Yeah. On the model run. Where looks promising.
Looks good, eh? Sounds good.
So it's interesting. It's almost like he was more confident than he expected. They were further behind than actually what he had thought, the boats to the north. So that was good for Will. We'll leave now with a final question to you, Kenny. We've had a really, really strange fact happen here this week. Today is Chris Nicholson's birthday on Team Vestas Wind. Yesterday was Bauer Becking's birthday, and the day before was Iker Martinez's birthday. That's 3 skippers on 3 out of 7 boats. I think it's unreal that could happen, and I'm trying to figure out what might have happened in October in the sailing world that would give us so many great skippers born in June. But when's your birthday, Ken?
In 3 days.
No way.
It is. Actually, it's next Wednesday.
That's amazing. That was not planned, by the way. Yeah, we'll have to figure out all the rest of the June birthdays between the 18th and next Wednesday.
Is this a setup to ask me how old I am now? Is that where you're going?
No, I was expecting like January or August like myself. Ah, if only I'd been born in June. All right, well, thank you for that. That was a perfect ending of our show. For now, we'll let you guys know the current ETA is no earlier than midnight, unfortunately for all of us, getting ready for the arrivals. The fleet will also be pretty spread out because as we've said, it's gonna be quite a confusing wind hole between now and there. So get ready in Holland, online, especially in the US where you'll still be awake, to welcome the fleet into the pit stop in The Hague. Thank you so much, Ken Reed, for joining us. Great to have you, and happy birthday to you next week. And we'll leave you now with a couple more heli shots from earlier today.